Hey friends, so we had a really, really important session last time, and I want to say Baruch Hashem again. Thank you Hashem for helping us to realize this, that we had to go deeper. It's always when you learn your sefer, it's always that extra understanding which helps bring things home. And we said that it's great to know all the facts of the first parak, but we got to get some feeling for the first parak. And the way to get some feeling is somehow try to relate to this idea, which of course we can't fully relate to what Olam Haba is. Ayin lo rasa Elokim zulasecha. No one's seen it, near life experiences, but near death experiences. Some people are looking for near life experiences. Yeah, so, but near death experiences. But Ayin lo rasa Elokim zulasecha. No one's really seen it, but we have to try to be makar of it. And we spoke about Shabbos, made Olam Haba. We spoke about Torah. And I want to share another 3 or 4 ideas this time. All the pleasures of this world, we know this is true, right? And all the good feelings which we have from this world, food, entertainment, whatever it will be, for better, for worse, are nothing compared to that pleasure. This we know, right? So, and we all get a lot of pleasure from it. Some people enjoy food very much. Some people enjoy companionship very much, a little bit of a higher thing. But some people enjoy entertainment very much. All those things we enjoy, stop sometimes and think, this pleasure that I'm engaged in, this is nothing compared to that pleasure. That's so much greater. And thinking that, and reflecting on that, again, is hopefully something which can encourage us to focus on that. Okay? That was the third idea. Fourth idea. Don't ignore the idea because I spoke about it so shortly, right? It just needs, I think, a little bit less explanation. That's where our pleasures are real to us. So, and the reflection you got to do, and I got to do. I got to do it for myself. You got to do it for yourself. So it's not too much more to say. If your dad, or mom, or best friend, or favorite aunt said to you, you know what? I have an unbelievable present for you. I'm cooking something which you'll love. It's a surprise. I can't tell you. I want it to be a surprise, but it's going to be unbelievable. I think we would all look forward to that with bated breath. My father, my mother, or my best friend, or my favorite uncle, those people who care about me, those people who know what I like, those people who know what's really good for me, has a present, and they are building it up, and they're telling me something special. That's something to look forward to. Everyone would look forward to that. Well, guess what? Kal v'chomer, ben beno shel kal v'chomer, ben beno, ben beno, ben beno, ben beno, ben beno shel kal v'chomer. If that's how we trust and believe in our uncle and our best friend and our aunt, which is fine, our Avinu Shabashamayim, the Bari Olam, the one who really cares about us more than anybody else cares about it, he's setting us up for this present. It's got to be something which is incredible. It's got to be something which is pleasurable. It's got to be something which we'll really appreciate it. So we just have to get our heads around that idea. If my father's present is something which would excite me, I'm looking forward to Hanukkah, looking forward, if you give out presents, you don't give out presents, no Hanukkah geld. But I know, my billionaire friend, I've been waiting for Rockefeller, I've been waiting for Jeff Bezos, my good buddy Jeff, my good buddy Elon. They said to me, Elon, you call him up, Elon, B'varechecha, you have a Jewish name, and he likes it. You write him a letter, he writes you a letter, and he says, I'm coming to Israel soon, maybe on SpaceX. If they haven't got a pad for me, you arrange the landing spot, and I'll do it. And then guess what? We're going to take a trip, kosher. Don't worry, it's all kosher. It's all glad kosher. I arranged with my Jewish friends with Donald's family. They told me how to make it. We're talking again. They told me how to get it together. It's going to be glad kosher. I know you can't do certain things. Don't worry about it. But it's going to be, tell your boss you're taking off 2 weeks. I mean, that would be an unbelievable trip. Unbelievable. So Avinu Shabashamayim is much better than Elon Trump, much better than all those pictures. And he's setting this up for us. And therefore, we have to be excited by that, right? That's a great machshava to think about, that if Hashem has set up this gift for us, and this is what He's getting on, this is the end game, and this is where it's all unfolding. For sure, we can be sure that it's something which is absolutely amazing and worth looking forward to, and worth being excited about, and worth working towards. Okay, that's another idea. I have two more to share. The Gemara tells us, I think in Brachos, that Olam Haba, Ein bo achila v'shtia, there's no eating there. Ela tzadikim yoshvin, matroseim b'rosheim, v'nedim miziv hashchina. What's the picture of Olam Haba? There's no eating there, there's no drinking there, but it's the tzaddikim, the righteous, sitting with their crowns on their heads, and they're netted, they're getting pleasure, miziv hashchina, from the light. Ziv is a hard word to translate exactly, but the rays of the Shekhinah. I think there are two ideas we could work with from this. What's the idea of Atroseim B'Rosheim, the crowns on their heads? So I'll tell you what it says to me. I don't remember if I saw this. For sure the idea is true, whether that's the Pshat in the Gemara or not. It's like this. The Gemara tells us an idea which some of you probably heard from me. It's written in my Kuntras, Piskei Simchos Yom Tov. Also, Bahar Chava, with great breath, a little bit. I don't mean great breath like great, I just mean with a lot of breath, as we spoke about other languages of joy, Simcha and Rina and Tuvlev and Gila. What's the idea of Sason? So the Gra tells us that Sason, right, there are different languages of joy. Like I like to say, you have to become a connoisseur of joy. That there's this type of joy and that type of. We're just like binary, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad. No. It's not happy, sad, happy, sad. There's a lot of flavors of joy, and you got to look for them. Ashabara sasam v'simcha, gila rina ditza v'chadva avavach v'shalom reyes. It's all different things. It's a whole world that comes in this world. Kadosh Baruch Hu is taking us the pleasure. Not who knows about the next world. This world already is pleasurable, true pleasures, real pleasures. So simcha is the joy. Simcha in the context of sasan, right? Simcha is one of those words which changes. It's a chameleon word in a good way. It's a general word and also means specific things when it's partnered with different languages. But simcha, smecha b'tseisam v'sasan v'vam. We say in Kel Adon, that beautiful part of Dam, we all look forward to this singing, that the celestial bodies who start their journey every day to speak about the Kavod Kel, the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they're smechem b'tseisam. They're happy when they start the journey, and they're sasan b'vam. They feel sasan when at the end of their journey, right? So that means simcha is the joy of beginning of a journey. I started a Masechta, I just got married, I'm in a new yeshiva, a new job, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of nervousness, but I'm full brimming with that, new expectation, what's going to happen, new possibilities, new relationships. That's simcha. Smechem b'tseisam. What's sasan? Sasan is the joy of a job well done. I finished the Masechta. I worked hard day after day, the Daf Yomi, right? 7 years, 7.5 long years, day after day. That's sasan. That's a very special joy. The sasan that we feel. Michael Dell, who's Jewish, that makes good computers. Actually, my current computer is a Dell. So shout out to Michael. So he said we celebrate for a nanosecond and then we move on. We say, Michael, you know a lot about making computers and a lot about making money. Yeah, but you don't know what joy is. We don't celebrate for a nanosecond. You got to celebrate. I see people, they finish Masechtas, myself sometimes, you don't make it. It took me 6 months. By the time I made a siyum on my last Masechta, I forgot, I wasn't sure which Masechta it was. Not that I'm finishing so many, but it took a while. I figured it out eventually. It was Megillah. But no, you gotta, bring the family in. Bring your wife and bring your kids in. That's the joy. What, you're taking off time from learning from? Of course, because that's sasan. That's all about the sasan. That engenders in us a rasa to continue. I feel like Geshmak Torah is, and take it in. Smell the coffee, smell the flowers. Enjoy Torah. Enjoy your achievements. Okay, that's a general point about sasan. But I think Atrosem B'Rosheim, the crowns on our heads, that's the crowns of sasan. That's a crown of all we accomplish in this world, right? People feel good if we allow ourselves. We feel good when we accomplish, and a person who can look back at all they accomplish in this world, standing up, Amida B'Nisayan, doing mitzvahs, and all those things, right? And they're all there. Yichbo Shem V'Naseinu, all of the mitzvahs we did are there, right? shouldn't chas v'shalom take any of the schar in this world for any bad things. The mitzvahs are there. The mitzvahs are incredibly powerful. The schar is incredibly powerful. Those are what you produced. That's what we produced. That's what we accomplished. That's that Torah. That's our crown. So that's an unbelievable joy. So that's something to look forward to. It means now I don't see the effect of all my efforts. I don't see the effect of being patient with my teenagers. I don't see the effect of not being sharp with my husband when he said something when he didn't compliment the food as he should have, as I deserve, after a long day of sweating and things like that. I smile at my wife even when she hasn't shown me appreciation for slaving away at a difficult job. I don't see where my davening is going. I don't see where my feel is going. I don't see where my learning is going. I don't see that people appreciate my chesed. That's in this world. But guess what? In the next world, all of that is loved. And all that is cherished. And all that is saved. That's your atara. Every little effort you made. And by the way, I'll just add, as the Arizal said in his time, and as we all know from this time, the Arizal said in his time already, the maisim that are done are worth more than the maisim of the Tanaim and the Maraim, because the Koch HaTumah is so strong, the Klippas are so strong. And now we're approaching Sharnun, we're in Sharnun, I know that sugya, but we're in a crazy time. Someone just looks around, and people. I was speaking to Talmidim recently. I said, "Can it get any worse?" And someone said, "Do you know they're talking about putting implants into people's brains? You really want to be plugged in the whole time? You have no menuchas nefesh ever to make the phone part of you?" And I said, "Well, why would anybody do that? But he said everybody's going to do it, so we're also going to do it. Rahman Yatzilenu, where the world's coming from. Guys, don't be guinea pigs." I think Ramesh Tarek, a very chashuv Ram in Gush Yeshiva, said he was talking to maybe Belzer Chassan one time on the plane, and he was saying, you're not going to be able to avoid, I think this is how the conversation went, you're not going to be able to avoid smartphones forever. He said, I'm not going to be a guinea pig. The Chassan said, I'm not going to be a guinea pig. Now, you see how much humanity's been guinea pigs. Everybody's walking back. Public schools are walking back now. You fell for it, right? And many Orthodox people fell for it also. Don't fall for it, Have filters on your phones. Be a guinea pig, and then this, and then. But putting things on our head, that's Sharnun. These are Sharnun things. No one, who could have imagined? You could have all the Tumah of Paris in your pocket. Who could imagine such things 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, 100 years ago? Who could see it? And now where it's going to go to, where AI is going to take us in a negative way? They're positive also. I know. I'm talking to you with technology. You're listening with technology. I get it. But we know there's another side to it. You got to know there's another side to it. The menuchas hanefesh, the tzuras ha'adam, the being a person, being in relationships. So many. It's incredible. You see how much the non-Jews are realizing, waking up to all the dangers and how it's going. But is that it? Do we lightly take the fact that humanity doesn't have focus anymore, or attention span? I was rereading the book Titan about John D. Rockefeller, a wonderful book. Every career should read it. My humble opinion. But he said, what can be accomplished with concentration? How much of humanity is lost without concentration, basically? And he had massive concentration abilities. When he played golf, he fixed every aspect of his game, left and right. That was important. He made lots and lots of money. And he, by the way, gave lots of tzedakah. He didn't give to yeshivas. It wasn't zocheh to give to art things, but he healed much sickness. There was terrible certain type of worm in the south, which making people slow down because it got into their feet. And he and his society got rid of that. He made the University of Chicago. He did a lot of good with his money. He concentrated. That's Yad D'Shmaya for sure. He concentrated. He focused. He was machine-like. We're not coming to makshir all of his business practice. That's not the point. But now we're just giving up on that. Oh yeah, okay. We don't have concentration anymore. What? Is that where we're at? Is that really okay? Okay, so let's get back to the point. So the point is that today the Hiskabris is so strong that every little movement you make is so valuable. And the Rebbeinu Shalom loves it and cares about it. But guess what? In our context, and it's all part of that atara, right? Even when Shimshon Pinkus says a person does a davening and he krechs oy, that was a davening, that is schar. Reb Nachman says from the oyes that a yid does, Kadosh Baruch Hu makes, he brings a Zohar maybe, that Kadosh Baruch Hu makes araba trees. You're building all the time. We don't realize it, right? We think when I make a yeshiva, I build. When I talk to a Talmud, I build. If I save a life, I build. Make parnas for my family, I build. When I see something, that's because we're in this world. But a Kadosh Baruch Hu sees the truth, and He sees how much we're accomplishing through every little tehillim you say. A little, you throw out a tefillah in the middle of the day. Yeshuascha kvisi Hashem, Kadosh Baruch Hu, help me. I care about it. You show concern for another yid. Inside of yourself, you feel rachmanis. It's all getting stored. It's all getting stored. So there's going to be an unbelievable outpouring of sasin then. So the reason I share this, friends, is because it's another aspect for us to look forward to. I'm looking forward to the next world because all that I'm not appreciative about and all that I can't appreciate it. No one appreciates it. I don't appreciate it. No one can see it. But in the next world, it's going to be open for us. It's going to be an atara on our heads. And it's going to be a huge atara. That's incredible. That's something to look forward to. Sasin Yishecha, the sasin of yourself. Okay. Our final idea, at least in the meantime, is V'nenem Ziv Shechina. Now, I don't want to go into exactly what Ziv Shechina means, nor do I know. I know what Shechina is, I know what Ziv is, and I certainly know what Ziv Shechina is. But I want to call it something else. I want to call it closeness to Hashem. Closeness to Hashem. To anyone who the love of the Creator touches our heart a little bit, and it's inside of all of us, like Chassidus talks about. Right? Some of us it's more begoli, some of it's less begoli. It's something, of course, to work to. It's a mitzvah tmidis, like the Mishnah brings in the second Bir Halacha in the whole book, the Sheish Mitzvah Tmidis of the Sefer HaChinuch. It's a constant mitzvah to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Lord Nelson, it might be made up, but Lord Nelson was one of the most famous of the British admirals. I think the most famous in history. I don't want to offend anybody else. I don't know too much about the admiralty or the history of the British Navy, but the British Navy was the power of the empire that the sun never set on the Union Jack. By the way, never set on the French Empire either. I know one gives French on everybody hates the French. No, I don't know. but I read recently that never set on the French Empire either. But you see that Britain was something else, right? So their greatest admiral was Lord Nelson. And I heard once, I don't know if it's true, it could be totally made up, but he was standing on the deck of his ship without a coat. And one of his subordinates said to him, "Lord, can I bring you a coat?" And he said, "He that the love of the king pumps in his veins doesn't need a coat." Kirvasabari. Romeo and Juliet. A story of love which could be brought to fruition. I don't think I ever read the whole story. I don't know if I could read the whole story. I certainly am not going to see the play of the musical. But that's a mashal for what it is. Now you say, that's not a mashal to share. Isn't that what Shir Shirim is all about? Did you ever read the Pashup Shan Shir Shirim? Now I know Shir Shirim is Kodesh Kadash because it's deeper, but there's a message there in the Pashup Shat. That's us. Cholos Avani. Tagidu, ma tagidu, tagilo, tell him. I'm lovesick. Why am I lovesick? Because there's an unfulfilled love. If we feel passionate about the Borei Olam and we know that we have Abbas Hashem, you have to feel something else. Then in this world, it's unfulfilled. It's an unfulfilled love. Cholos avani. I'm God sick. And we're all in a jail of sorts in this world. 1 minute passion for Torah mitzvahs. I think if I understand our generation, it could be I don't. But I think the idea of this is out there much more. All the Kalavach Minyanim and thank you Hashem, it's Gavaldig. It's awesome. It wasn't always like that. It was more like Moshe Feinstein said, Sheret Suzayin Yid was very basic, that people felt it was difficult to be a Yid. Gone through the war, we're done in Kapschus, but no less than the Gadol Hador, the Gadol HaPoskim. Moshe Feinstein said that's what caused our downfall, Sheret Suzayin Yid. You don't hear people saying that, Sheret Suzayin Yid. It's geschmack to be a Yid. Roll with the Eibishter, make Shalashon's great again, all this stuff. And it's all over. I was at Dakota recently, and a Friday night minion. I was next to two very yeshiva, one more yeshivish than the next. They're both doing Kalabach. 50, 60 guys from the yeshivas. Some of you have never even heard of these yeshivas, from Prager's and this and Tzvi Kaplan and Brisk. They're doing a Kalabach minion. Unbelievable. And I turned to not as yeshivish guys. They're doing a Kalabach minion. What does that mean? That means that people are looking today. That's how I see it. Yeah, but on the other hand, So it's like passion for Torah mitzvahs and Kabbalah Shabbos on the one hand, and then passion for French fries, football, and worse on the other hand. That's a jail. That's it. That's a kafakella. You know, that's unfulfilled love. That's love which sometimes doesn't even get started, and then gets started and gets stopped a lot. I mean, right? That's not the way we live with our spouses. I hope. And then there's this place where it's not going to be like that, where it's going to be open, where it's going to be clean, where the love will never stop, where it's Nenen Miziv Shechina, where we'll be able to truly connect with the one we want to connect to without all this blockage, and one on a whole different level, right? The love is going to be fulfilled, and we're not going to be blocked, Nenen Miziv Shechina, and we're not going to be up and down the whole time with it. And it's not going to be, and we're not going to have all these guilt feelings. Like, how did I do that? How did I say that Lashon Hara? How did I look at that? How did I think that? How did I say that? Why did I say that? Why am I so negative? Why am I so down on myself? Why am I so down on others? Why am I so judgmental? What is wrong with me? What's wrong with us? But I want the right things also. It's like this rutz of a shav that we're dealing with, and we're all dealing with it on some level or the other. You know, tzaddikim, gedolim, maybe whatever. But that's a madregas tzaddikim not to be in it, and the possibilities for the swing in this world is so great. You know, like, you know, there I was learning and Kabbalah Shabbosing and being nice to my wife, and then I'm endlessly scrolling with silly videos which don't make a difference for anything, and then I woke up 3 hours later, or I've been shopping the whole time. Like, what's that? You need some clothes. You need some clothes. Shopping for hours and hours and hours, just thinking about the next sale. The next sale, my head is bound by that, and I could spend hours checking from one site to another. When I could have just stopped, and I don't know where the time went. I could have learned. I could have said Tehillim. I could have felt more in love with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That matzav is hell. We're in a hellish situation today. Let's not even talk about the tsaris, but we're talking about the love, right? The love we feel to Rabbeim. There's none of it there. That's how it's going on. All those distractions, it's done. Tzadikim Yoshvin, Batrosayim, Bereshayim, Benenim Miziv Shechina. It's fulfilled love. Romeo and Juliet come together, and they're never going to be separated. Klal Yisrael and the Eibishter come together, they're never going to be separated. It's an eternal love. It's a love. We're not going to be Cholos Ava anymore. It's going to be hopefully be Makom L'Makom. So both say, to bring these sessions to a close, we try to make the idea a little bit more real for me and for us. And this is just the beginning. You have to reflect a little bit. We shared, I think, 6 ideas altogether. Quick review of them, of how to make Olam Haba more realistic to us. Right. One was, if you like Shabbos, super Shabbos. If you like learning, super learning. Right. If you like the pleasure of the world, they don't compare it to that. Much, much greater. Idea 4 is someone who loves us very much is preparing this for us. So we can be sure that what he's preparing for us is going to be really, really good. Number 5, it's the pleasure of all the good work that we did. All the good work we did, we don't celebrate for a nanosecond, we're going to celebrate for eternity, Michael. Yeah. And finally, number 6 is that we're finally going to be able to have fulfilled love without the back and forth. So those are 6 things to think about. You got to think about them. I'm talking to myself. If it's just a nice talk, a few jokes, nice mishalim, or not nice mishalim, nice background. Yeah, you see the lights in the back. For those of you who are seeing the video on the WhatsApp group, as opposed to the podcast, I'm talking to myself. You have to find the time, weekly, bi-weekly, think about that. You know, this is Olam Haba. I want to be serious about it. I want to get there. I have to have intellectual clarity about it, for sure. But I have to not just have intellectual clarity, I have to be thinking about the ideas which will make it real to me, which will make it visceral to me, which will make it something that I want to get to. Hatzlacha Rabbah to all of us.